Welcome guys, my name is Gabriel and this is the video for Dragon Age Inquisition the Inquisitor trailer, a analysis of my humble person and my opinion. Okay, let's bring a few things at the beginning. This is my opinion, this is not an actual breakdown frame by frame. I'm quite sure there are some people on YouTube and everywhere in the internet who did a much more stunning job by analyzing the trailer, not to mention that this particular material released by BioWare around 2 weeks ago is already quite old, and so I'm doing this, hoping that someone will be interested in my opinion, and here we go. One important thing, this is of course, the material of course has a big spoiler alert before. It is quite possible that we will go somewhere around this into a spoiler territory for Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, so be aware of that. Let's start the trailer then, shall we?
It is difficult to bear what happened here.
First thing that we see is our burning bodies. The beginning of the game, as I suspect, the cataclysm that opened the rift to the Fade. The only, as we know already, this is a event that the Inquisitor was able to survive. So we see the bodies, we see the victims, and it creates a nice tension at the beginning. Not to mention that if it will be the start of the game, I'm quite sure that it will have an impact on a lot of places.
You walked out of the Fade, and our soldiers found you.
Then we have the Inquisitor. The first time we see him in a close-up, I think, besides the leaked video that happened when they showed part of the gameplay. You know which one I mean, I hope. It seems that the Inquisitor will be a human male. Every BioWare character, default BioWare character, lead character was a human male. The whole thing is around this moment there starts the Cassandra Pentagast narration, which is a nice touch. The narration in this trailer changes between Cassandra and the male Inquisitor, which means, yeah, these are of course parts taken from the game, which by the way sounds very interesting. I have to praise the helm design. The design the helmet that the Inquisitor has on him. A beautifully designed dragon-shaped helmet, and I'm just stunned with the amount of detail they were able to put into this. The big question is who the Inquisitor was before the event happened, before the big cataclysm happened, which obviously is important because, as we know, the Inquisitor will have some background stories. How they will affect the game, it's something I would like to learn more about.
The only one who escaped a blast that killed thousands. And you have no idea how you survived?
Then we have the hand, Inquisitor's logo on the left side of the screen. I always try to look those things up. You can quite clearly see that the logo is again very detailed, and the thing with the left hand, the burning fire of the Fade being on the Inquisitor, it's something unique and special. It's a special ability of the Inquisitor that marks him as a hero. It is a very nice touch from BioWare, because they are coming back to roots, and this is something that everyone eagered them to do after Dragon Age 2. Come on guys, go back to what you were good at. A character who's unique not only because of his personality or because of his background, also having something special about him is great, and BioWare was always very good at creating this kind of characters.
At this moment, you are the only threat I see.
The world is tearing itself apart, but they say I can stop this.
We call it the breach. It grows larger with each passing hour.
Then we have an action montage that looks quite impressive. The dragons are especially nice. I have to praise the design of the dragons. Then we have older Liliana. I wonder why the birds are flying around there. She looks to be around 40 years old, it seems. The gap between Dragon Age Origins, where we were able to see her last time in a more in-depth character, and you know, she was a prominent figure in Origins. In Dragon Age 2 she was only a cameo, so I don't actually count that one in very much. This gap is around 10 years, so when she was, I think she was late 20s when we encountered her in Origins. I'll have to look that up. And now she's older and still very good looking, and from what we know, she will be part of the Inquisition.
Unless we act, it will swallow the world.
Another action montage. One thing that in this one is very important, I think, it's the jump. Inquisitor is jumping over a gap, and it is quite certain, I'm quite certain, that this is a moment that happens somewhere during the gameplay moment. So I wonder what more abilities the characters will have to move around the environment. We already know that because of the change of the graphic engine, they are BioWare able to incorporate new mechanics into the game. Also, when it comes to taking cover and this kind of stuff. So, great. Then another landscape montage. This one is interesting. I have to praise the music here, because in this particular moment of the trailer we hear the music. Not to mention that you can hear the music from Dragon Age Inquisition behind me playing when I speak. This is from the official Dragon Age site. Beautiful, beautiful sound design. BioWare has never let me down when it comes to design of sounds. And I'm not talking only about the music or the voice acting, I'm also talking about effects, about special effects, sound effects. Not everyone is aware that it is not that easy to design this, and we overlook this many times in many games. That really should be praised for this, because there's always a big bunch of people responsible for that aspect that we don't see, but they are there, and they are worth of praise. Not to mention that in the landscape montage we also see the horse. From what I understood from one of the previous informations, the horse will be a unique partner of the Inquisitor, something like a character on its own. I wonder how they will do this, but it looks very promising. Varric, of course, cool as always. He looks, again, the same applies to Liliana and to Varric. He looks darker, a little bit older, which, in my opinion, is perfectly fine. I wonder what type of character he will develop, because from all the characters I remember in BioWare games, during the course of a particular series, be it Baldur's Gate, be it Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire, Mass Effect, the characters evolve, and I'm quite sure that Varric will evolve as well. So, let's go deeper.
Might want to watch yourself. It's raining demons out here.
We will close the breach. We will find those responsible, and we will restore order.
then we have a montage about, you know, a scene that shows the closing of the breach. It's an important. I think this is the most important thing in the whole trailer. That the bridge can be closed, or this gap, rather, I should say, can be closed by the Inquisitor. And I wonder how that will transform into a gameplay mechanic. This is something I really want to see and find out. Unique trait predefines the Inquisitor to be the main character of the game. The fact that in the left hand, the Inquisitor has this interesting power. And again, I'm pointing that out. It's something I really appreciate. Another scene is a big fighting scene. From what I understood from the trailer and from some other people on the web, it's quite certain that the Inquisitor forces are fighting Grey Wardens. Why they are doing this, how this can affect the political standing of the Inquisition is a big question. But I want to say quite clearly, from what we know, in Inquisition we are creating a new order. It was stated like that. You create a new order. And you know, are the Grey Wardens a part of the previous order? Because if so, it might be a possibility in the game that we will wipe them from Orlais, for example, which will not. Well, it's an interesting perspective, I think. Never mind that. Fighting scene makes quite a nice impression. But I have some issues with the fighting, and basically with BioWare's politic about this game, informational politic, but that in a second. And finally, in the end, we have the table scene.
Whatever we were before, we are now the Inquisition.
13 characters in this shot, and everyone suggests that there is only one analogy for that shot. Yes, this painting. In my opinion, 13 characters is a little bit too much. I experienced that with Dragon Age 2. In Dragon Age 2 you have such a big roster of characters that can join Shepard on different missions, not to mention Zaid and Kasumi, who are DLC characters, that for me they lack personality. They become sort of, you know, a big array of they become a crowd, basically, nameless people who follow Shepard around. With Inquisition there is a possibility that this won't happen, because from what I know, only 6 of the characters in this shot will join you, and they will be a group of characters from whom you can choose your party. The other ones are members of the Inquisition, it seems, but much more. They are much more like your advisors, second-in-command people. We are quite sure that for example, Leliana will most possibly be your espionage, or rather spy agent master. So that's cool. And now a few things that I need to mention. First of all, this is all in-game footage, which generally is good. This is a tendency among the developers that I highly praise, and I want to see more of that. We are hitting this level of graphical beauty that the in-game graphics the quality of in-game graphics, sorry, that's how I wanted to say. The quality of in-game graphics can be used for trailers, which is bloody good. A big minus for me is that we still don't know real info about the combat. We saw the combat, we saw how it looks like. It's flashy, it's beautiful. But the big question is, what is the meat of the game? I want to see the meat of the game, BioWare. I want to see ability trees. I want to see ability requirements, how the characters level up, how the experience is given to your party. What are the points that you reassign when you level up? What is the core behind the combat system and behind the systems in the game? This is something I want to see, and I haven't seen it in any of the materials up to date. The DLCs are another minus. I fear that this game will be milked for DLCs, and we already have this. I already seen this because the pre-order has started. You can pre-order Dragon Age Inquisition, and the pre-orders are horrible because they already have all those bonuses, DLC bonuses, additional packs, Inquisition pack, Flaming pack. I don't know how they want to call those, but really, do we need this? And I hate this. Not to mention, and this is my biggest minus, the game is horribly expensive. At least here in Poland, the pre-order is twice the number that they usually charge for a new game. EA and BioWare, especially on Origin, they charge extreme price for this game, and the only game I remember up to date that was priced so high was the big esport StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty, the game that solidified the position of esport and is basically played on every major tournament in the world. And when Blizzard gave this prize, this StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty 2 or 3 years ago, it was already 3 years I think, we were all skeptical, and I am skeptical towards Dragon Age Inquisition as well, and I can already tell you I won't pre-order this game for such a price. Not to mention that I pre-ordered a game this year, and I usually do it once a year. So sorry, Dragon Age Inquisition is going to be a game that I will play most possibly in somewhere around next year, 2015, which is a sad thing that might happen, but it's a thing that I think will happen. Okay, generally a phenomenal material, very nice trailer, and I hope to see another one. Of course, the premiere date 7th October. Let's mark that on our calendars. Well, I won't, because I won't buy the game that day. At least I won't pre-order this. I'm quite sure about that. So I'm waiting for a price drop, and I highly suggest for you do the same, unless you are so hyped that you already did this, because I'm quite sure there's a lot of BioWare fans and enthusiasts who already pre-ordered the game. So thank you for listening. My name is Gabriel, and this was the analysis for Dragon Age Inquisition, the Inquisitor trailer. Hope to see you next time, and if you like the material, feel free to subscribe or like the video. There's a special designed button down there, thumbs up, and I hope to see you next time. Have a nice day. Ciao.